Good morning, we are Group K3, and today we'll be presenting Diminishing Authenticity of Petaling Street's Architecture and Place Identity. A brief introduction on Petaling Street, Kuala Lumpur. Petaling Street is Malaysia's Chinatown, a place where early settlers came to Kuala Lumpur in pursuit of wealth from the booming tin mining industry in the 1800s. Most of the settlers were Hakka and Cantonese and led a steady migration of Chinese communities into the city. Petaling Street is also famous for its traditional hawker joints and kopitiam-style eateries for delicious and cheap eats.
Moving on, we'll be looking at the abstract. This research was conducted to identify the changes in the cultural and architectural aspects of Petaling Street after urbanization. After multiple literature reviews, we've gathered 5 main factors which causes the gradual decline in the culture and historical values of the street, which includes the agglomeration of immigrants, the business-oriented mindset of stakeholders, the lack of resources and expertise in construction, modernization, and poor management of the street.
There are 5 problem statements. The first one is modified functions of pre-war shophouse buildings, catered for modern usage and change of lifestyle. And the other one is lack of expression in original culture and aesthetics, where the building facades are renovated to preserve its structure. And the third one is overly decorated buildings. There are bright colors, outdoor air conditioners, and also exaggerated signages. The fourth one is the obstructed heritage causes the loss of distinctive characteristics. They are blocked by the permanent street features and also the roof structures. And the last one is the loss of cultural and heritage identity, which is caused by the influx of foreign workers and also the rapid urbanization. So there are 3 methods. The first one is the literature review. We collect the most relevant and significant publications regarding the loss of authenticity in Petaling Street's architecture, and we did the analysis by identifying the issues and also the factors that cause the diminishment of Petaling Street's identity. And then the third one is the virtual site observation. We observe the current site condition of traditional shophouses in Petaling Street.
And this is our conceptual framework. So based on the 5 main identified issues, we have listed down each of the factors, cause, and also effects. So the first one, the factor will be agglomeration of immigrants, caused by the immigrants have different cultural background compared to us, and the effects will be changing in culture. The second factor will be modified functions. So it is caused by the commercialization, and the effects will be building functions meant for promoting products. The third factor is lack of sources and expertise. This is caused by the failure to showcase authentic forms of the building, and this results in the loss of architectural authenticity over the time. The fourth one will be modern opinions and influences, and the cause is adjusting to modern times, so the effects will be change in architectural style. The last factor will be lost attention from public and management. So this is caused by the lack of maintenance and also bad condition. And this will lead to heritage buildings go unnoticed. And generally, the 5 identified issues will cause loss of place identity.
Now, moving on for our very first research question, how does the agglomeration of immigrants affect the cultural values in Petaling Street? As we all know, nowadays Petaling Street has been transformed into an alternative shopper's paradise due to poor Malaysian immigration policy, where illegal immigrants, they are seen selling pirated goods, unlike in the past, where the business is mostly revolved around traditional local goods. Take a look at this picture that compares the situation of Petaling Street before and after. Before this, Petaling Street used to own delightful array of local cuisine, and some famous Malaysian street food were mostly Chinese stalls selling all kinds of snacks are stretched along the street, resulting in an interesting mixture of aroma filling the air that is quite hard to resist. Recently, the stores have been overrun by migrant workers, and what's worse happening is that the street has become a flea market with mostly fake merchandise and pirated goods being sold by them. In general, immigrants are slowly expanding their culture by introducing new ideas and customs to cater the incoming foreigners' needs. And Petaling Street has gradually becoming a Bangladesh street where the foreigners become their own boss by renting the stalls from their employers. Also, they are hired by local workers who have aged or not even interested in continuing the business anymore. Next, what has caused shophouses in Petaling Street to change its function? Petaling Street has turned into a commercialism place from a place where it has a stronger sense of community. The 5 footways were initially a space for social and cultural activities where we would meet neighbors and friends, shop and run errands each day. It also provides shelter from the rain and sun as well as a safe path for pedestrians. Unfortunately, 5 footways are turned into more congested place where pedestrians are forced to walk on the street where it's partially exposed to sunlight and sometimes not sheltered from the rain due to vendors that occupy the 5 footways to conduct informal business. Besides, lack of preservation has been one of the reasons that the buildings in poor conditions and then become abandoned that become a temporary or even permanent place for homeless people, parking space for small vehicles and place to dispose waste. Worst come to worst, it will be demolished to save construction costs.
For the third research question, we have why does the exterior view of shophouses not showcase its authentic form anymore? One of the factors being difficulty in sourcing original materials. For example, rails and stile panels will be eroded and they should be replaced with matching timber paneled doors during the restoration. However, it's really difficult to match with these original materials because it has to be tested with similar strength, texture, scale, and form. So sourcing these timber doors are very difficult to find in recent times. Lack of expertise in construction techniques and skilled workers is basically workers nowadays have to follow the detailing of the original facades of these old buildings. And this existence of old shophouses is dependent on the senior craftsmen back in the days. So repair and maintenance stages require a thorough and complete understanding of the building defect investigation. The analysis of the traditional timber construction detailing should have endless research cost and time consumption, which nowadays workers do not have the effort put into studying all these timber construction. The lack of aesthetic references is basically when replacing existing elements of the original style of overall design. It's often altered because repair and improvements and alterations are referenced from knowledge of artisan craftsmen, old photograph, and construction records, which are very difficult to get a hand of these days. For the fourth research question, we have how does modernization affect the architectural style in Petaling Street? Ultimately, the reason for this is modern preferences. Architectural styles nowadays are changed to please visitors. People see steel, concrete, and glass as high quality architecture, whereas vernacular methods are often associated with underdevelopment. The alteration of features on buildings means many buildings along Petaling Street have been modified due to the high demand of urban lifestyle that destroy vernacular architectural value. So, for example, in this picture, we can see that the alterations made were the bright colors on the buildings. Also, they have replaced the timber shutters with glass panels. And back in the days, floor tiles were used to be covered with terracotta tiles or Victorian style tiles. But nowadays, you rarely see all those tiles. In recent times, many business owners would try to advertise their business. So by doing this, they place large sizes of signage that obstruct the view of the shop. So ultimately, the attention of visitors are shifted to the advertisement instead of the architectural style. And because of this, the architectural style will go unnoticed. However, there's one positive cause from modernization, which is the adaptive reuse of shop houses. Some shop owners try to continue appreciating the site's historical significance and try to maintain links to the past. From doing this, they are able to reduce energy consumption from demolishment of old architecture.
Finally, what has caused the heritage building to go further unnoticed? Firstly, because of the lack of management policies, misguided spendings, absence of appropriate maintenance, and bad planning have left the heritage in disrepair. Conservationists observe that most of the budget is spent on less on preserving historical landmarks which are in various states of disrepair and ruins. Heritage buildings were not conserved properly according to the basic principles and conservation guidelines. Decision on conservation is made without deterioration results or based on assumption resulting in negative consequences. Next, because of the lack of public awareness, destruction of heritage by people who visited the site who does not show appreciation or help in creating a sense of place, urban identity and pride, and specific preservation of the community towards the heritage. As you can see in the picture, waste is left lying all over the streets. Over time, the heritage has become a very unhygienic and dirty looking place. Also, the scribbles all over the walls and columns are regarded as vandalism, such as in the picture. Heritage vandalism is considered a violation of laws and regulation. For our conclusion of loss of place identity, there are several factors that are diminishing the authenticity of Petaling Street's architecture and its place identity, which is mainly due to the modernization of the city. external influences, and the lack of appreciation. Therefore, initiatives should be taken to preserve the originality of both intangible, the cultural value and building function, the tangible elements, and the architectural forms and style.
And that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you.